Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Leadership Activators podcast. Today, I have an awesome, amazing human being, my guest, Luke Canham, today. And I'm thrilled to have you on the show today. Thank you so much, Luke, for joining me.
Thank you, Carol. It's a pleasure to have the opportunity to come and speak with you. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you, everyone who is joining us today on the live stream. So we have people joining us on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and also on Facebook. So wherever you are, thank you so much for joining us. And I trust that by the end of the session, you'll have a lot of questions to ask Luke. Please feel free to pop them into the comments under the LinkedIn stream, because this is what I'm looking at the moment. And if you find that for some reason I missed the question, so sorry about that in advance. Make sure you DM me on LinkedIn, so I make sure to ask the question to Luke by the end of the podcast. So I'm going to quickly introduce Luke. And so Luke, as a kid, you were the ideas guy in the house. And if
Yes.
something needed to be fixed, a roll, a MacGyver tape, and some blue tag, and Luke was your man. So you are a big kid at heart, which has allowed you to stay a creator and a visionary. You are also a loving husband, three kids?
Yes, 3. Just had our last one 7 weeks ago, our little girl.
Wow, congratulations. You're a father, a big ideas business owner with 35 years of lessons, hard knocks, and experience managing hundreds of staff across multiple locations across 2 countries in high-risk and fast-paced industries. You learned along the way that all businesses or companies are actually training companies. And you believe that the struggle most businesses face when trying to grow and employ new staff is not caused by the people they hire, which is usually to blame. It's because the people they hire are not supported and appreciated consistently. And for you, the better you can train and support, the better the outcome is for everyone. So you have recently coined the sandcastle effect. We're going to talk about this. Super excited to learn more about this. And you want to bring awareness to what it is and how it can be managed so it does not become the silent killer that ultimately destroys the business. You have been studying and recording data on human behavior for 15 years, something that I absolutely love. While testing and searching for interventions and strategies that can be used to find the elusive sweet spots in a business. You also believe that you are on the cusp of a breakthrough strategy that uses positive daily reminders and research from current social media strategies to build stronger businesses where people feel appreciated without taking away valuable time to actually get the work done. Amazing. So many things to dig deeper into. Super excited for this conversation to kick off. So, Luke, how was your business name MultiplyME born?
Good question. It's pretty well exactly what we do. So we weren't named MultiplyME when we first started. We had a different name. I'm not sure if anyone's been through the naming of a business before, but the name, a lot of people had to ask us, what does the name mean? So when I was asked that a few times, I realized that it wasn't a good connect. So we looked at what we did, and we literally multiply people with videos. So MultiplyME seemed to be the thing that I had also felt in my business career was I'd found myself saying, I wish I could just multiply myself and get more done. So it was either multiply you or MultiplyME, and we took MultiplyME. And since Carol, since we changed the name, everyone gets it now. They're like, oh, that sounds good. So I'm interested. So it's been a good move.
Love it. I love how is it that you tuned into what is the problem that you're looking to solve so that it's self-explanatory, which is amazing. Yeah. So looking back, what do you believe was the defining moment for you to embark on your entrepreneurial journey and decide to be a business owner?
At the very start?
Yes.
Oh, good question. My business career actually started when I was probably about 6 or 7, and I grabbed my family push mower. We lived in a rural community. There was a few houses around where we were, and I'd push that around the village, and I'd knock on doors to see who wanted their lawn mowed. $5 an hour, and I'd just run around and cut lawn. So I guess that's where my where my business started, I learned how to, provide a service, ask for money, do a good job, and be asked to come back and do it again. And then I built a reputation, and then we built a few more lawns, and then I had a business, I guess. So I guess that's where it started. And it's never really stopped. Like I've always, if there's been an opportunity, I feel like I've been able to see that and go, oh, I could do something better there. And that has led me to start a lot of different businesses, and a lot that don't work and a lot that do. But it's definitely something inside me that wants to keep creating.
I can see that. It started at a very early age, which is awesome. So you actually have over 30 years of experience in business. I think 35 plus, right?
Yeah, well, I'm 43 now, nearly missed a year.
Okay.
When I was writing that, I was thinking, well, when did I start in business? And it really does go back to, I probably didn't count the first few years because, I don't know, I thought it was just it was a way to make money. And I guess that is business, isn't it? That's what it all boils down to. And I had a motorbike as a kid, and I needed to put petrol in it, and it was up to me to find out how to put it in. So I had to create a way to, instead of selling lemonade out the front of the house, I started mowing lawns for people.
That was a bit different from selling lemonade, that's for sure.
Yes.
So you have been through the ups and downs for so many years of running businesses, learning on how to serve people, how to be consistent, how to show up, and all of that, regardless of what's been going on for you in the backstage, and also managing big teams. So you have gained, I would assume, a lot of battle-tested wisdom, and we had a lot of conversations around that before, you and I. What do you believe are the biggest lessons that you have learned along the way?
Yeah, good question. I think this probably goes into probably how industry is shifting at the moment as well, is that when I used to train and sort of bring on new people, I would show them how to do something, kind of elbow them out of the way and say, right, that's how you do it. And then, say, there you go, you're all done, off you go. And in my head, I think, oh, I've showed them the best way they know how to do it and away they go. And I had to learn that, and it had to be done my way. It was like, I knew the best way. So here's the steps. Yeah, a lot of mistakes, but I'm happy to tell you how it used to be. And then what I had to learn over time was, as I grew, all I needed to do was provide a start gate, some boundaries, and the finish line. Basically like a football field. Start under the goalposts, don't go outside the sidelines, and finish under the other goalposts. And I had to just pull back a little bit and say, I've given you the information, I've given you the tools, and I don't mind how you get to the other end, even though at the start that really grated on everything that I believed in. But everyone doesn't see things the same way. So perspective had to come in. And I realized to grow, I had to step back and let people just work within the boundaries.
I love the analogy with the football field. It's amazing. Yeah, like this is the start. Those are the rules. Those are the boundaries. Those are the tools. Just go from here to there, just the way you want to do it.
And if you have a question, my phone number. I am here, and we can sort it out. And actually, that's something that's really interesting. I hadn't even thought about this for years. When my team leaders, when I was creating team leaders and responsible people, I used to actually put in my phone as their name, let's say it was Bob, support him. I would write that. So when he called, it said, Bob, support him. Not if he came to me with an issue, I would go, oh God, how has that happened? So I had to tell myself through, if he's calling me, he needs support. The very last thing that I could do was, be abrupt on the phone and tell him he's done a bad job, or why you're calling. So I had to set these little reminders for myself as I went along the way, because I've always found that you do go back to your stripes if you're not changing. Like you do need to constantly rebuild yourself and modify if you want to keep evolving as a person as well.
Yeah, learning how to show up. I love the idea of having reminders, which actually brings me to this.
Yes.
One of your other side passions.
Yes, we can talk about that at the end.
Yeah, we will talk about that at the end. So yeah, this is a little bit of a teaser for the listeners. Absolutely love it. I'm wearing it every single day. We'll talk about it. So you have recently coined the sandcastle effect. And what is the sandcastle effect and why is it important for business owners to bring their awareness to it?
Okay. Can I ask you first, Carol, have you heard of the sandcastle effect or even have an idea what it could be?
No, not at all.
That's good because I feel like I've coined the phrase. So if there's any book writers out there, I think I'm bordering on wanting to write a book at the moment. And the sandcastle effect for me, I've been business mentoring for about 8 years as well as a side passion. People have gravitated to me over my life and I realized that I could contribute. So we struck up a deal and that's what I did. And the sandcastle effect has been evident in every business I've ever seen in and who any business owners ever talked to me. And I don't think there's ever been a term for it. So I thought I've started using this sandcastle effect and no one has ever known what it was called. So basically what it is, when a business employs somebody, they get a new recruit in, they spend the first day or week, depends on how long, they build a sandcastle with them and say, okay, here's all your stuff you need to know. Complete overwhelm for the new recruit, mind you, but the business owner or the leaders think that they're giving them everything they need to know. So they're doing their job, they're ticking boxes, and they build a perfect sandcastle, put the new employee at the top or new recruit and walked away. The first wave that hits, there's anxiety. What do I do next? I don't know. I haven't been here long enough. Am I going to sink or am I going to swim? So they call out for help. Managers walk back in or business owners, let's build your sandcastle back up again, put them back on the top and walk away. And the same thing just keeps happening. So there's something in that. How are you building them back up? Are you coming back over, elbowing them out of the way and saying, bang, 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 that's how you build a sandcastle? You'll be right now. Or are we coming back over to them and saying, okay, your sandcastle's fallen down. What do you think we should do about that? Let's work on this problem together and we'll come up with the solutions. Me included, most people I've ever coached, they come in, they put it together as fast as they can because there's no time. And they just expect that the new recruit is on board again because now they've seen it twice or 3 times. But it's just a hamster wheel. And what I've seen happen is that new recruit gets to a point where they say, I'm not getting the support, I'm not appreciated, I'm thrown in the deep end and I'm leaving. And that could be a 3-month process, which completely took so much time from everybody's sides, 30, 40, 50 grand of training and resources going into this person. And they said, I just can't do it anymore. Or they've gotten to a point where they've made it and they've stayed in the business and gone, okay, I can sort this out and I'll kind of make my own rules and, build a place for themselves. Have you seen that common in businesses? Is that something you've seen?
Super common, very common. Okay. Yeah.
So that's what I call the sandcastle effect, is when a business owner is just too quick to help them do it and not allow them to be part of the, rebuild that sandcastle. It shouldn't even be rebuilding a sandcastle. It should be the first time the sandcastle is built. This is how we do it. This is why. And obviously people will say there's time restraints around that. We can't spend so much time with everyone. They need to know common sense. They need to have all these things before they start. And common sense is another thing that's a huge debate. Like when someone starts in a business, what's common in the business? Like I spoke with a lady who had a pack and send. Pack and send are a very successful business, and she has sold her business recently. She'd been there for over 20 years, and she said, Luke, everyone employed can't even use scissors. And I thought, well, okay, if that's the problem, do you bail and say everything's too hard? And this is not aimed at her, this is just the decision-making process. Or do you need to look for a new way to create common sense in the business? And I think if we're going to evolve as business, as a business as a whole, it all comes back to training. It's like, how fast can we train people? How well can we train them? How well can we support them? And that first sandcastle we build for them, yes, we can do it together, but when we walk away, can we guarantee with other information, video training, this is why we're here, can that sandcastle stay at a perfect peak with that person in control of it, and they feel like they're doing a good job, they've been set up with the tools and resources, plus the extra training going forward if they need to find something. So my question now is, when I meet business owners, like I talk about the sandcastle effect, and I say, are you at the beach continually building sandcastles where the waves are knocking them down? Or have you moved up the beach a little bit and you're building sandcastles, and then you're walking away and building another one, and you're just building an army of sandcastles? So that's kind of my, that's my sandcastle effect rationale. I hope that lands well and makes sense with you.
What an awesome metaphor. I absolutely love how you're doing it, because it's definitely what I keep coming across with business owners. You're spot on, especially the ones who are really good at what they do and are very quality focused, as opposed to balancing between, yes, quality is important as we scale and doing things the way it's expected to be done, but also developing people along the way. And I absolutely love how is it that you brought the coaching part in it, where you're like, hang on a minute, just pause for a second, slow down a little bit. It might feel like it's like a pain at the moment to just pause and try to see what the perspective of the other person is, and how is it that they see things moving forward, to start developing their self-reliance as opposed to relying on you as the business owner. And it will create a long-term gain over time. So you just alluded to the fact that you do have a solution to this, which is video. At some point you just shared that. So can you share more about what is unique about the solution that you're offering?
Okay. So you said just a second ago that when business owners pause and they can build that first sandcastle with somebody, what I'm proposing, and I'll be honest with you, we're a startup business, and I feel like we're learning new things every day. We're grabbing content, data and stuff that's building how we roll tomorrow. Like, we haven't been here for 10 years with all this amazing projects behind us, but I feel like because we haven't been traditionalized in video training, it's giving me the power to just do what I think should be done and not have ties to the way it should be done and the way I was taught, because everything's been self-learned. I haven't been taught a lot in this area. So, and it's been through business, and obviously I've been around a video camera for a long time, but it's also been just self-coaching and things that I wanted to do. But you were saying, if a business owner has to pause and teach that person, that's why it's not done, because there's not enough time to pause. So I'm proposing, can we, and we've done this already with amazing results, start extracting from the business in video format tips and tricks, procedures. I'll probably just step back a little bit. When people think video training, they start to think safety, professionally shot, scripted, staged videos that are like kind of lecture style, boring 3-hour safety meetings. That needs to be like, completely throw that out of your head. And this is a new way of doing it, of just grabbing short, sharp, powerful videos right from the field, right from your mobile phone. If you built that sandcastle with, say, you employed Katie on first day, we're going to build your sandcastle. Let's video some of the things we're going to do today. So the reason we do this is because such and such. That can be a training video. That can be Katie's support for the next 3 weeks. So we know that 50% of what the human brain is taught in a lecture style, training induction day is lost 1 hour after you've learnt it, if you haven't practiced it. So you think about an onboarding day, not much is going to be practiced. It's just going to be information, and no reason why, and not a lot of context probably. It's just, here's everything, get started. So
there you go.
Yeah, there you go. That's right. And I'm proposing that you could still do an induction day the way you do it. If you want to lump that onto someone, go for it. But back it up and say, everything we've discussed today, Katie, is here sitting in short, powerful videos, just like you would search on YouTube, as our own company how-to. So if you need something over the next week, dive back in and do some training. And I guarantee you that person is going to say, oh, good, because I don't remember half of the stuff we talked about today. But now I know that when I'm ready to do it, I can go to the video and pull that piece of information. And we're also realizing now as well that when people need to learn something, that's the best time to learn it. Actually, as they're about to go and do it, we learn it, we do it, and then we get better at it, as opposed to learning it today, waiting 3 weeks and having to start, because we just have to go back and learn it again.
Yeah, it's timely. And I love how is it, sorry to cut you off, and I love how is it that you are also looking at building connection while you teach. So when you're like grabbing your phone and this is how it's done, and it's on the job and it's not all scripted and polished, and like it automatically builds this connection of the person as if the business owner is, or the manager is, with a team member and teaching them there and then how to do things. And this also, I would imagine, maximizes the learning experience.
Definitely, yeah. And you could imagine if you did put a little bit of time into this and film somebody's first day, that is actually the training for everyone else's first day that ever comes into your business. Like that can be the walkthrough in your office. That can be, this is where the coffee machine is, here's the toilets, there's the fire exits, you know, that's the car park. Like that could actually be for everyone forever. So you don't have to take much more time than what they're already doing to create these videos with our model. And I can explain a little bit more of our model, is that when we work with people with MultiplyME, we're not just a learning management system or like a YouTube for your business. We have a human service in behind this, where we can coach people how to use their phone a little bit better, get the right type of content, upload it into our platform, and then we do the edit and turn it into a training module with questions and sign-on pages, pop it back into their account, and all they do is deploy it to their members. And obviously the platform captures all the critical sign-offs, the training. It's just making that process of converting from face-to-face training to producing some videos to remove a lot of that repetitive training and explaining. We found a way to make that very fast and easy for business owners. And
absolutely love it. Probably phenomenal. Wow. Yeah. It's probably, yes, go ahead.
Sorry. It's what I was wanting when I was in business. I had thought a few times in my head, if I could video this and store it somewhere, I wouldn't have to do it again. But I was always stuck with, what do I say? How do I hold the camera? Where do I store it? How do I send it to Katie? How do I know she's looked at it? And that's basically what we've put together in a platform, taking care of all the how-tos.
So like business owners as listening to this, I mean, it's such a no-brainer, right? And I would imagine that every business owner would want to jump on the occasion and opportunity to do this. I'm wondering, in your experience, what is stopping business owners from doing this? What are the key objections, things that they fear that they're trying to overcome to go ahead and do it?
Really good question. And it's actually a little bit widespread. Fear, you just said, fear is one of them. It's just, where do I start? Video training is not new. This has been around for a very long time, and it's been proven to reduce costs astronomically. And that was in my head as well. Why, when I built the business, I thought we'd have 1 million customers on the first day. And I've had to learn, like, okay, what are the holdups? And at the moment, it's time. It's okay. We're just getting back on our feet. Change and time. People are scared of change, and they're scared of, we don't have enough time to put into this. I met with a large company yesterday, 300 people up in Brisbane. And I was only going there for a presentation day. And I met with the GM and his 2 IC, and then we got through the presentation. They were already converted before I got there. They said, we're doing this. There's no reason why we won't. It makes a lot of sense. And I said, okay, I'll come back. We'll do a planning day on the videos you want to make, and then we'll shoot. And they both said, they looked at the calendars and said, we don't have time till after Christmas to all be available again. And I said, all right, it's 12 o'clock. Let's do it all today. So by 2:30, in 2 hours, I had run them through the process on how to, let's gather the videos that you want to make. They already had an idea of something in the business that needed improving. and they were explaining it all the time. And the GM of the company just jumped, like I filmed him there on my phone and said, let's talk about it. We went out into the workshop, so it looked a bit more authentic. There was people making noise in the workshop, but we left all that going and we just filmed right in the thick of what was happening. The GM knew what he wanted to talk about. He didn't need to script too much. And I don't believe in scripting, but we just put down some like a flow of what he needed to cover.
Yeah, yeah.
And he said, we'll finish. He goes, is it that easy? And I said, yes, it is. This is exactly the same as you making a video on the weekend in the park with your kids. If you know what you're talking about, you don't have to go and do a script and then have to deliver that unauthentic to a camera. And I've said to him, bloopers and stutters and everything, if you're going to do a training day with someone, you're not going to be able to edit all of that out. So why do we need to edit that out in a video? The person delivering in the video should be exactly the replica of the person that would do it in real life, not the color graded, hair done, better looking, because we don't trust it. I mean,
yeah,
we want to deal with people as they are. That's what I believe, and that's how this business is set up. We make videos as you are. And obviously we have a process there to make sure we don't miss important things that need to go into the video, but they're not 100% scripted. Otherwise, people can feel that in the delivery. And
right.
As soon as you feel a scripted,
Disconnect.
staged actor.
Disconnect. Yeah.
Disconnect, you fall asleep and you wake up at the end of the video. And that's what's been happening in video training for as long as I can remember. It's been quite painful.
Yeah, you're touching on something that is authenticity, and it's been going on for a while now. For many years now, I'm not sure about you, but I've been seeing that trust is being lost over time, and people are looking so much. They're thirsty. They're looking for authenticity. They're looking for vulnerability. They're looking for people to connect. They're always digging deep to finding who is behind the mask.
Yeah.
And it's starting to pick up in a lot of businesses at the moment, where people, and I think this is something that you shared with me once, which I absolutely love. You're saying there are business owners who are just revenue focused and whatever it's going to take to generate the revenue. And there are business owners who are revenue for impact focused.
Yes.
And for this to happen, vulnerability and authenticity are so important. Now, I know it might sound cliche as two words. I'm wondering, in your world and in your experience in business, what are the personal values that you brought into your business, and how is it working for you?
I really love that you've asked this question. Being a startup business, I met with someone recently who said, Luke, we love your model. They had a huge network. They said, I love your model, Luke. This will apply to every business that we have in our network. And he said, what is your aim between now and Christmas? And I said, I'd like to onboard 60 new customers. And he said, I could get you the 60 new customers, no problem. And he was being honest.
Mm.
And he said, but the way it's going to work is like this. And he had a very inflexible, structured way that I needed to bring people, that he would bring people to me as long as I brought people to him as well. It all had to be give and take, which is
transactional.
Okay. Mm. It was really okay. So I'll explain a little bit more so you understand. I brought someone to as a referral, and the referral by email wasn't written exactly the way he wanted it. I left some things out because I didn't want to pressure my contact.
Yeah.
He came to me and said, that's not how we do, Luke. That's not how we do it. Page 3 of our contract states you must write the email exactly the way we've delivered it to you. So I got on the phone and said, I'm sorry, I can't, I don't want to put pressure on my people. And he said, well, I haven't gotten to the place I am in business because I'm nice to people.
Mm.
I said, we get results because we do it this way. And I said, okay, righto. Do I want the 60 clients before Christmas, which would change, a startup's life because startup's hard, or will I stay authentic? And I chose to say, I'm sorry, I have to decline our contract and our offer. I can't work like this. And I have authenticity written on my wrist. So that gives you a display of, like, I do follow my values, and that's a value I brought into this business. It's we will stay authentic. And I guess there is 3 values that we do have in business, and it's ABC, we call it. A is authenticity. B is belief. We need to believe in the person we're going to work with, because we're going to put them into videos to display to other people. I'm not going to create videos about someone with a mask on them and let somebody work in their business for 3 months to realize the video was fake or was unauthentic. So I can only work with business owners who actually want to be a business owner, connect with their people, and actually support them. Not someone who says we just want to make more revenue by making the videos. I can't do it.
It's an instant value clash.
Well, yeah, I would be actually tricking people. I would be helping them onboard people, go through a training. They'd see great videos and build some trust for the business, and then realize the business doesn't do things the way they said at the start. And that is, can't do it.
Massive deal breaker. Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have, I've done a lot of work over the last 4 or 5 years over what I believe in and who am I. And that's, I do stay pretty strict towards that, even to my detriment. I'm not getting the 60 customers in 3 months, which would have been amazing, but I feel better. I can sleep at night.
Yeah, it's amazing that you're sharing this, because it brings one of the key words of leadership, owning a business, leading a team, onboarding team members so that they can stay, play, and thrive with you. What is that you found with the word trust in business? Like this word, what does it mean to you? What's your relationship with it? And how have you experienced it?
Okay. Let me think about that for a second. So how do I see trust in business? Is that sort of?
Yes.
Yeah, I think simply put is just being authentic and doing what you said you'd do. And if I can give you a story of how I broke trust in one of my businesses, and it was making promises to people in my business. Hey, we're going to do this next month. It's going to be a new change we're going to bring in. And I wanted to kind of, let people know something great was happening before I'd done it. And then when I was unable to deliver through, maybe we'd had something go wrong in the business, so we had to postpone it, or we just didn't get there, that creates a lot of distrust in businesses to say, oh, Luke promised this, was supposed to happen on the 16th. It's been pushed back 2 weeks. What he says doesn't always come off, and that trust comes down very quickly. So I probably realized that just being who you are, face value at the start, and that's why I don't believe in like these great big professional training videos or even flash marketing videos, because they've had energy and time to get the right word with the right meaning that will make someone feel a certain way. But if they don't speak like that when they meet them, there's an instant disconnect or trust. So I think the word trust for me is just being authentic and then delivering on what you said you were going to do, not promising too early. Let people know something's happening as it's already in the motion. That's something I learned the hard way a lot of times. I wanted to let people know what's happening too early, and sometimes I ended up with egg on my face. And I didn't realize at the time, but I was creating a lot of distrust and, a see-through leader. What Luke says doesn't happen. So I had to learn those things along the way to be a lot more sticky to my word.
I love how aware you are about the impact of how you are being and what you're bringing to the game. How is it impacting your business? How's it impacting your relationship and your team? And obviously the clients too, because trust is also a very important part of clients' relationship. I don't know about you, but I found that some people give automatic trust, and then if you break it, you're done. And some people actually take time to build trust to see whether or not they want to trust you. So they are really on the lookout to see for consistency, like you said, or that's your marketing video. And when I see you, it doesn't match whatsoever. Therefore, I don't trust you. So it's a very interesting one there. What does the word leadership mean to you, Luke?
This would come back to something we've discussed earlier. Leadership for me now is very different to what I would have said 10 years ago. So the evolution of leadership for me was showing someone how to do it and then giving them all the tools and building that sandcastle. Like I said, I thought that was leadership. But I was actually probably emotionally, bashing people because they see a sandcastle built so well and then go, oh, I could never do that on my first day, or all of the things that I was doing, so I didn't know. Now leadership for me is about, and I think this is evident now as well, how people draw leadership. Leadership used to be, we're at the top, next tier down, and it filters down to, whoever who is supposed to be on the bottom rung. Now I see leadership graphs where there's like a person in the middle and there's people going out everywhere. Or even the leadership is now drawn at the bottom and they're supplying information up to everyone else and pushing them up on the pedestal. And it occurred to me, someone that works for me just a week ago went and did something with a new client or a prospective client, which I didn't help her to do that. She did it off her own accord, probably with some learning from what she'd learned at MultiplyME and her own skills. And it made a huge difference in the business. And I thought, oh, I didn't have to be there. I didn't have to do anything for this. This person that works for me has bigger wings than I possibly thought. So now the word leadership for me is, what can I do in my business to bring people in, give them everything they need, and say, here's your start, there's the boundaries, there's the finish, go for it. And then when they go and achieve that, accolades and being supportive of them being there. But I have noticed that the more room you give somebody, the more they feel appreciated, the more they feel trusted, and they do go and blossom. Not everybody, but you'll find the majority of people will grow when they're given that room to be leaders themselves. And a good leader will then sit back and say, they don't have to say anything, but they know that they contributed to that person's success and be happy to sit in the background and just be. That's what I think leadership is now.
It's amazing. There's a lot of how is it that you're giving, how is it that you're contributing back, which brings me to my next question, which is about, in order for you to do this, there's this famous metaphor that says you need to put the mask of oxygen on you first, right? So that you have to keep looking after you so that you can now give even more, not pouring out of an empty cup. So I'm wondering, what are the strategies over the years that you have developed to keep looking after you? What lights you up? What energizes you? What keeps you going every day?
Good question. About 5 years ago, I went through a down in my life, which everyone does. You have your ups and downs. And I committed everything to the business I had. I built a small empire. I loved it. It was me. It was my identity. It was what I did every day. But it was starting to take a lot more than what because it was successful. It was actually taking more than I could actually give. And there was a point where I realized that there was nothing left for me. I wasn't doing any hobbies again. Family time has always been pretty important for me, so I haven't bitten into that too much. But I would do late nights when kids have gone to bed, and I could burn the candle a little bit. But I went through a couple of year process. I actually sold that business, my everything that I had, and I kind of had a bit of time to just unravel, I would call it. And I realized that I'd gotten a long way away from the person who I used to be. I used to trust people. I used to lend things, and over time I was getting to the point where you said there's two types of people. I wouldn't trust people. They'd have to prove it first. And at the start, I used to give trust just very easily. I'll trust you until something goes wrong, and then we have to come and sort this out. But I'd gotten a long way away from who I was, and I realized when I was going through those downs was my wife and I, we would leave sticky notes for each other. And I remember being really down one time, and I opened the bathroom mirror, and there's a note there that says, I believe in you. And then through the day, I open my esky, and there's a little note that says, the kids and I love you. And those sort of things how I've been able to kind of support myself. You said put the oxygen mask on yourself first. So I've been searching for ways to be self-supported, because I do think that when all else fails, we do need to be able to take care of ourselves first. And that's a skill I didn't have. I've been quite vulnerable here, but going through life with or even relationships, I was always in a relationship. When I look back now, it's probably because I couldn't be by myself. I needed someone else to support me and, to validate me, I guess. So that couple of years of really getting back to basics and saying, okay, what are the things that I do to put my oxygen mask on first so that I actually can help someone else? And that's been through daily positive reminders, much like the videos, Carol. And we haven't touched on this much yet, but not using video training in the traditional sense, but using video training as actually empowerment videos, or even getting people around you or even in your business to make videos about each other and having them sent out as empowerment videos to the other people in the team, or to support yourself. I'm considering at the moment actually making videos for myself. So actually telling myself, Luke, I'm proud of you for doing this. Luke, I'm proud of you for doing this. And then schedule them to myself on the platform, so I can do my daily training with me telling myself, I want to test how that works. And then I was going to ask you to be involved in this too, Carol. I want to get 10 people in my network to say something positive about me, and then schedule it to myself and see what the effects of that. Because I've been this type of person, like I'm an emotional roller coaster. Got a new business idea and I'm going this way, and then I realized, this wasn't everything. Yeah, and down as fast as you go. So I've been looking for ways to like level out that curve. Even though it's fun to hit the highs, it's no fun when you get to those lows. So I want to stop those dips from happening.
Even things out a little bit.
Yeah, and like I said, we're doing that through the videos because we're not traditional style training videos. There's a lot of other ways we use the videos. And I can lead on to this now if you like, or did you have another question to introduce?
Yeah, actually, before we go there, it's just an idea popped into my mind, because many years ago, like about 10 years ago, I was launching a Kickstarter campaign and I was just looking for some other project. And it's funny, there was a project at the time called Sugar Cube. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't. Sugar Cube.
Yeah, so it was a guy who decided to send sugar cubes to people across the world. So you would build a whole community, and every day someone will write something that is empowering, inspiring, and send it at random to someone on the platform. And then you would receive this message, let's say from Luke in Australia, that's saying, "You're awesome, Carol," right? Yeah. So and it keeps going, like this ripple effect keeps going. So I love your idea. It just reminded me of this one. It looks like it's an evolved version of that with video and all of that, which is so good. Super exciting.
So yeah. I would say if there's anyone on the call, while I've got this opportunity, if there's anyone on the call who watches this, please reach out, because these ideas that I'm coming up with, I'd love to collaborate with people. If they have a business where they would like to try these positive style videos, definitely reach out. We're looking for those sort of people who want to try, and then we'll test and measure the results. But we know there'll be good results. It's just, how amazing will they be?
Yeah, absolutely. It's always great to hear, like, from the outside what's going on, like to reinforce the scripts that are resourceful. Interestingly, human beings are really good at reinforcing the scripts that not so resourceful. So, and
that's a good way. Sorry, that's a good way to put it, because every day we get up and we have to go through our scripts in our head. So if we combated that with scripts from other people, videos on our system, to wake up every morning and go, oh, I've got a new video. Oh, that's nice. Now I feel great. That may combat, a lot of things that people are struggling with every day. And I consider myself to be a positive person, but I still hit the lows. Like they're still in there.
Yeah, of course they will. Since you're talking about the audience at the moment, thank you so much for those of you who are sticking with us and still here. You can start popping in your questions in the comment box on LinkedIn. so that we can start gathering the questions to make sure that we make the time for them at the end of the conversation. Thank you so much. So yeah, there's something that I wanted to talk about first before we move to that, which is you touched on at some point in one of our conversations that you believe that it's important to create training and have this strategy just like you would have a social media strategy or something along those lines. Can you expand more about this and tell us more about what's your philosophy behind this?
Yeah, I can, of course. So I've been observing social media behavior, and a lot of businesses spend big budgets. They have so take a business, we've got a social media dedicated person, and they're recording, they're making content, and they're blasting it out to the outside world, outside of their company. That's what social media is basically for.
Yeah.
And I believe social media is going out there to influence the outside world to either make a purchasing decision, to know, like, and trust them. You're basically trying to influence somebody to do something for you with your social media. You want an impact from it. And there's big budgets and big concentration going to social media. Now, why can't we use exactly the same strategy in-house? Let's create social media style training videos. Like I said, we just on the spot with the video, with the people who know what they're doing, and use those to educate people in the business. Because when you look at a process in a business, a process is a series of steps, and at every step, there's a fork in the road. Do I know what to do? Do I not know what to do? And that creates indecision, that creates anxiety, that creates people feeling uncomfortable, unsupported, untrusted, and starting to implode while they're inside the business. So if a process is a series of steps and you employ the people, and you have control over what they see, like social media, you actually have to find the people out there who want to see your content. In a business environment, you already employ the people, so you can allocate time for them to see the videos. And you know the specific tasks they're going to do. So if you had small bite-sized videos that could influence the person to take that step and make the right step, and you know when they're taking the step and you're paying them for time, why can't we send them little videos to influence them to make the right decision so they feel supported, they feel happy that someone was there to say, hey, this is the right way to go. And they're videos made from other people in the company as well. It's not always the managers or the business owner saying this is what you must do. It's from other people who already do these processes and say, I do it like this because of this is the result I get. Or it might be the business owner notices that, let's say Katie again, the new recruit, has a really good way of doing things. So he grabs the phone and says, Katie, how did you achieve this finish? Like, how did you get to this result? Oh, it's simple. I did this, and this. You have another training video made from someone in the business who people are going to trust. And then broadcast that out to the people who need it, when they need it, right before they're about to make the decision. Now, that, I believe, is a really powerful process that businesses can easily now start to get hold of with the type of videos we're saying that are accepted now. I'll just give one more fact to validate that. When you look at social media, 80% of purchasing decisions that are made online, so you've got a business over here and someone purchasing over here who doesn't know them, so they have to influence them with social media. It's user-generated content that's making the purchasing decision. So someone's handing over money based on these social media style videos. So if you're paying someone, giving them time to look at the video, isn't that going to make sense that they will just follow the process in the best, in line with what the company wants?
Yeah.
So then we could have,
yeah.
instead of, so all my philosophy is grab the social media strategy you're using to influence people out there and bring it in-house. The problem has been there's been no platform to do that, but now there is, called MultiplyME, and I'm more than happy to show people how it works.
It's so good. Love it how you segue into it. I absolutely love how you did the parallel between social media, the behavior of people who are consuming the social media materials, and then in the team, and how you're bringing this into play. So let's do a little bit of a U-turn here and go back to that.
Yes.
I bet that the listeners are looking forward to hearing more about this, like we've been teasing for the past hour or so. How did this idea come up? How did you come up with the idea? When was it born? And what is something exciting that you tell us more about with this?
Yeah, cool. So I've already told you the story, so we don't have to go over it. But it was the sticky notes in the esky behind the mirror, and positive things that I was putting up on the wall to support myself when I needed it. And at the moment when I seen the sticky note, I had 15 seconds of, oh wow, I feel great. And then I walk away, my own stories kick in, and the day can beat you down. And I thought, how can I feel like this all day? How can I have a positive thing that hits me in the face every second of the day? And I thought, well, that's got to be simple. I can put sticky notes all over my body, or you can walk around like a big sticky notepad, or you can create a bracelet and engrave everything on there that pulls you forward. They could be your values. I call them reasons. Everything I have on my bracelet is a reason for me to get out of bed every day and be the best person I can be. And it catches me all the time. It's started influencing decisions I make. Like I said, the 60 customers that someone promised me before Christmas would have changed my financial situation, the investment, but I chose to stay closer to my North Star, stay within those boundaries again. And I know that I'll get to the other end by being authentic. So that's where the idea came from. And I also went to a big summit, a training summit, and they handed out little silicone bracelets with Be the Lion written on it. And I wore that bracelet for quite a while because I was charged up at the summit, and I used that as my anchor bracelet. I used it. If I have that on, I'm always going to be connected to the energy I felt in that room. And that's what it was all about. And I just thought, this is simple. Like, why can't we generate these positive reasons in a way that when we look at them, it takes us back to why we're wearing that, and it influences to make decisions along the way. It stops us from bottoming out. A lady came to me the other day. So this is another business that I created along the way, and it ticks along in the background, and we've done some beautiful things. People that have had people in the family who were looking at post-traumatic stress disorder. They've created bracelets for them to say, you're a father, you're a loving husband, just to remember these things. But I've seen a real shift lately to the entrepreneurial world, where people are really reaching out for ways to support themselves as they go on their own journey. So people are using them to send to other people. People are using them to support themselves. And it's, I use mine every day. I get up, put it on, look at everything. And we could probably get a little bit more out of that, because I wanted to bring this in with some of our customers who are using our videos.
Yeah.
Indeed brought out a how much time have we got, Carol, just so I don't go so
we still have about 5 minutes. So I'm looking at the questions. Yolanta asked a question. I'm asking her to clarify the question. So yeah.
Okay, I'll be very quick. Indeed brought out a report 2 weeks ago and said that 72% of the workforce feel unappreciated and unsupported in their role. 72% at the moment. That's crazy.
Wow, it's massive.
So I'm proposing to one of our customers at the moment, let's use this as a staff care package for you. When people start with you and everyone that works for you, let's give them a bracelet with your company logo on it and family. And she chose the word family. We're going to present the bracelet with only one reason on it and a little note saying, this is for you. It's not finished. We would like you to think about the things that are important for you. And you know what happens when we think about what's important? It activates a lot of things up here. And that's the business owner now creating a staff care package as simple as a bracelet that person now can go away and create the bracelet. And we know the beautiful things that happens in the creation process.
Oh, yeah. Simple yet very powerful.
And the employee, wow, I've never seen anything like this before. And obviously, the business owner can choose to pay for it or not, but the business owners we're working with are paying for them, giving them as a welcome gift. and saying, it's not finished. We'd like you to finish this while you work with us. And we've got questions that we can deploy by video. So if they wanted to build a bracelet over 6 months, we could send them a question every month and they can think about it and design their next reason. And then they get it in the mail and they pop it on their bracelet.
Amazing. Absolutely love it. Phenomenal idea. I can't wait to hear what comes out of it. And I really hope that more businesses will embrace this idea and start looking on how is it that they can anchor to the people's values so that when they show up at work, they remember how to be the best version of themselves every single time. So I would love to wrap up our conversation with a question that I ask every single guest of mine. And I would love to see what is your flavor for this one. So if you were to throw a 30-day challenge to our audience, a challenge that you believe will create a high impact in their life and or their business, what would that challenge be, Luke?
Yeah, I think that we would make that very simple, so it's not time consuming, but let's ask the people listening to grab a sticky notepad and write down the 3 reasons. They can be values, drivers, a place they want to visit, something that motivates them, what pulls them forward. Write them down and put them near their bed or on their computer every day, and look at them every day and see how much they have influenced their decisions to stay in line with those types of things. And just be aware of be aware when they actually go to make decisions through the next 30 days to think about those 3 things.
Oh, this is
and see where there's been an influence or a behavior change in the decision making.
Amazing. And I bet that Luke would love to hear from you. So about this, Luke, so how is it that people can get in touch with you? What's the best way to reach out to you?
The best way, do you want me to share some things with you, or I can just give some details to you after this?
Yeah, and then we can pop them into the comments box.
Yeah. Look, I'm happy to put my phone number in there. I'll give you my email. And if people want to check out our website, they can go to multiplyme.com.au, and I'm contactable on there as well. I can give you my LinkedIn profile as well. So I'll give those to you after, and we can get them out in the comments.
Great. So guys, listeners, also people who are sticking with us, if you'd like to connect with Luke, make sure to DM me, and I'll share with you all Luke's contact details. Luke would love to hear from you. You can directly connect with him on LinkedIn. And if you have any questions before we wrap up the conversation, would love to hear what they are. Jolanta, if you can clarify your question, you asked Luke to share more about the offer. So can you please clarify your question? All right. So Luke, thank you so much for joining me in this conversation. It was an absolute pleasure digging deep into your world and learning from you. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol. You said that was about an offer on the question. If people are asking if there's any offer associated with this, there is no offer today, but I do hold just free strategy sessions where we sit down and talk about your business. Because I do find a lot of people are not sure how to go from where they are to video training. So those conversations are always open, just as a curiosity session to show people how it can be done.
Amazing. Thank you so much. So Jolanta, Luke has just shared how is it that you can get the offer. So have a quick chat with him and see where to from here. So thank you so much again. I trust that you have an awesome day, and looking forward to reconnecting really, really soon, Luke.
Thank you, Carol. It's been lovely talking to you, and I love sharing these big ideas with you. Thank you.